and the system came close to stopping. If you read a book called $1 Trillion Triage, you can get it on a day-by-day account, and people don't know how close it was.
What do you think of the job the Fed is doing right now?
I do not think I could run the Fed as well as Jay Powell's run. I think Jay Powell has been a terrific, and part of the job. Well, look at Paul Volcker back in the 1980s. I mean, people were sending him. You know, I mean, he needed Secret Service protection and everything else. But in the end, he felt his responsibility was to do the right thing at the Fed, and he didn't give a damn about what anybody wrote about him or anything else. And I think that he's one of my heroes, and I think he's one of Jay Powell's heroes. And I think Jay Powell did the same thing actually in March of 2020 when we went into the pandemic. I think at the annual meeting that year, I said, you know, that he was a hero and he is a hero, and you have to act, and you have to act on insufficient information, and you've got an ultimate responsibility to the American public. And it doesn't mean you can stop recessions. It doesn't mean that you can turn bad loans into good loans or anything else. But it does mean that you got to keep the system working. And the system came close to stopping. If you read a book called $1 Trillion Triage, you can get it on a day-by-day account, and people don't know how close it was. And Jay Powell did not call for studies or position papers and, you know, lengthy debate and everything. You just don't do it. You act. And that's what Paul Volcker did. And I thank heavens, you know, Jay Powell was there. I mean, you could have gotten a very different result in March of 2020 after the pandemic broke out.
Did the Fed keep rates low for too long after that?
Who knows? Who knows? We won't know. I don't know what they precisely should do, and nobody does. And they follow conventional wisdom and all of that, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But since 1942, you know, we've made all kinds of mistakes in this country, and we'll continue to make them, but somehow the system works pretty damn well. I'd rather own stocks than bonds over many years. I'd rather own part of America than try to squirrel my money away some other place. I thought, you know, maybe in Switzerland, Credit Suisse or something like that. It just, people are, they don't really get any wiser about this sort of thing. Somebody else fire, they're going to run for the doors.